Boa tarde, torcida tricolor. Welcome back to another video on the channel. Fluminense in English. My name is John, so tricolor. Isso gringo. Before this video starts, we'll be talking about some lot of information today. Talking about Samuel Xavier getting his social media hacked. A surprise in training. Someone is back training with Fluminense. Some information about Paulo Henrique Ganso as it is his birthday, and more. Stay tuned. Do not forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, share this video to all your friends. Let's head into the video. Now, first up, Paulo Henrique Ganso is one of those who can solve a match at any time. His genius with the ball on his feet is a breath for enthusiasts of more plastic football. Today, the 10 shirt of Fluminense turns 35. Tricolor, of course, congratulated the player on social networks. Even with the age and the ups and downs lived in 2024, Ganso is still one of the foundations of Fluminense. So much so that in numbers, the season is similar to last year, considered magical for fans. In all, the Fluminense midfielder already accumulates 4 goals and 8 assists in 44 games this season. The number of matches is below the average of recent years, and with eliminations the Copa do Brasil and the Libertadores, it will end with fewer commitments than in 2023, for example. Still, there are only 2 assists left in the remaining 10 games for Ganso to match the participations in goal of the magical year, which ended with the Libertadores title. In 2022, however, he had one of the best performances of his career, with 18 participations in goal. It coincided precisely with an aesthetic peak of Fernando Diniz football in Fluminense, a team that enchanted Fred last season in the Laranjeiras. 2019 he scored 5 goals and 1 assist in 47 games. 2020, 1 goal and 2 assists in 32 games. 2021, 3 goals, 2 assists in 23 games. 2022, 9 goals, 9 assists in 57 games. 2023, 4 goals and 10 assists in 56 games. 2024, 4 goals and 8 assists in 44 games. In addition to the important participations on the field against Cruzeiro, for example, the last commitment before the FIFA date, he granted decisive assistance for the winning goal scored by Arias. Ganso is also an active voice in the dressing room of Fluminense. Although he has more timid personality, the experience and level of football presented makes him one of the pillars of the squad since 2022. This situation calls for the fight of Fluminense in this final stretch of 2024 is against relegation. 30 points won in 28 games put the tricolor in the strip of the relegation zone in 16th. 5 wins in the last 10 games would take away the risk. Now, the contract of the Fluminense midfielder runs until December next year. That is, if he is in the plans for Mario Bittencourt and Fluminense for the upcoming season. Paulo Henrique Ganso came to have the name linked to Santos, his former club, but there was nothing of interest there, nothing really solid there. Now stay tuned, as we will talk more about Ganso in future videos as well. Now we have a bit of a funny story about Samuel Xavier. So Samuel Xavier's Instagram account was hacked by scammers. The right back of Fluminense, Samuel Xavier, had his Instagram account hacked by hackers. And images published in the stories of his account, you can see the hackers in action. And of course, as much as the tricolor crowd follows the athlete, it's necessary to warn about the situation. It's worth understanding how the scammers act at times like this. They invade profiles, as in the case of Samuel Xavier, and advertise non-existent products or fake investments. The handling manner is such that they modify images to look like they are the owner of the official profiles in action. Thus, to avoid falling into the trap of this type, you need to be aware of promises of quick money and products with discount far below the original value. The best way is to report the profile whenever you see any suspicious activity. Now, on one of the slides of his story, which I'll put on the screen now, you can see that it actually shows that Samuel Xavier is having an English class with someone on a video call, which is insane. Scary what the world has come to, man. And just as I was recording the video, I was actually editing the video. There has been some information that Lele, you may remember Lele, who got injured in April during the Carioca, and he had some muscular injury, and he was practically out for the whole season. But Lele, according to Fluminense on Instagram, he is close to returning to playing. Lele is already training with on the field and is close to returning to Fluminense. He was the top scorer of Fluminense for quite some time, with only 6 goals scored, all in the Carioca. So if he does come back, I'm hoping for speedy recovery for him. But if he does come back, it'd be interesting to see what Mano Menezes does in terms of who that third striker will be. Because currently it's Scala and Leith and Connell are guaranteed to play, right? And John Kennedy is in a good state. Lele obviously he's been injured, so he can't play. But yes, interested to see how Lele recovers, and we'll keep track of it. Now, once again, my friends, the CBF wants Fluminense to fall, right? CBF is doing everything in its power to make Fluminense lose, to make Fluminense relegate. Fortunately, we found out who will be refereeing the game of Fluminense against Flamengo, the FlaFlu. It will be none other than Rafael Close. None other than him. If I pull up the stats here, pretty sure Rafael Close, off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure he refereed around 28-30 games for Fluminense, maybe like a 10-15% win rate. Uh, it's unfortunate what the CBF are doing, right? As we know, Fluminense FlaFlu. The FlaFlu will be on Thursday, October 17th in the Maracanã. The tickets are already up, so make sure you get your tickets. Just take a look at the retrospect of him refereeing FlaFlu. He refereed the last game, the last FlaFlu in 2023, the Copa do Brasil game where we lost 2-0. He so far only refereed 4 FlaFlus, and Fluminense only won the one FlaFlu, which was the game in 2022. So yeah, it is unfortunate. Once again, the CBF tried its best to make Flamengo have the advantage, but we'll see. The team is training hard. Let's hope we win. Vamos Fluminense. Now, Fluminense has excellent news during training today at City Carlos Castillo. This is because the defender Thiago Silva trained in the field and took another step in his physical recovery, aiming at the presence in the Clásico against Flamengo on the 17th at Maracanã for the Brasileirão. Released by the medical department, the defender took another step by starting the transition to the field. At this time, he has a good chance of being on the field during the Classic. He deals with an injury to the heel suffered on September 18th, almost 1 month ago, in front of Atlético Mineiro for the quarterfinals of the CONMEBOL Libertadores. Thiago Silva even acted in the sacrifice in the return game against Atlético Mineiro on September 25 and was spared against Atlético Goianiense and Cruzeiro for the Brasileirão. For the FlaFlu, Mano Menezes already knows that he will not be able to count on 3 players. Kevin Serna, who has a muscle injury in his thigh, and both Keno and Marcelo are suspended. Fluminense also works to recover Nonato, who fractured his nose in the shock with Marçal from Botafogo. Now recovered from his meniscus injury to his left knee, defender Ignacio returned to train with the group and should be available for the Classic on the 17th. In addition, Fluminense will have 2 returns. Helmancano and Diogo Barbosa. The two served the suspension against Cruzeiro. As we know, Helmancano got suspended against Atlético Goianiense for showing his phone to the referee. Now, with only the Brasileirão to compete until the end of 2024, Fluminense has 10 more games to ensure the permanence in the elite of the national football. The tricolor is currently 16th place on the standings with 30 points, 1 more than Victoria and Corinthians, both clubs being in the relegation zone and having a game less than the rivals. It's great news. Fluminense needs to win 5 out of the next 10 games in order to not be relegated. Now, last but not least, we'll be talking about David Terans. As you know, he was the second most expensive signing for Fluminense this year in 2024, just behind Facundo Bernal. Now, he had no chance with Mano Menezes. He has less than 20 games all season long and hasn't played in 100 days. His last match was against Grêmio, still with Marcão. Now, Fluminense continues to ignore the second most expensive reinforcement for the 2024 season. David Terans was hired in the window of the beginning of the year in January with 14 million reais, and almost 9 months later did not reach the mark of 20 games with the tricolor. It is already more than 100 days or 3 months without entering the field, without any chances on the command of Mano Menezes. The midfielder has a contract with Fluminense until the end of 2026. The doubt about his low use is not new and was already present in the backstage even before the change of command. But now with Fernando Diniz, he had some problems to achieve the intensity required in training. In July, Terans suffered a left calf injury that removed him from activity for just over a month. He was related by Mano Menezes for the first time for the round of 16 in the Commonwealth Libertadores against Grêmio. In addition to the return against Grêmio, Terans was also related by Mano Menezes against Corinthians, Atlético Mineiro, Atlético Goianiense, and Cruzeiro. Total, he's available for 6 games out of a total 11 games with Mano. And in all cases, all he did was sit on the bench and not play at all. Now, when asked about the non-use of Terans, Mano reinforced the application of the same criteria for the whole cast. Now he says, I open quotation marks, I obey the same criteria for all players: income, production, field performance. Sometimes when you're going to set up for the bench, you have to take into consideration the various positions and various players you have. It's worse for him what goes for everyone. End quote. Terans lived his moment of greatest sequence in Fluminense in June, in the transition period between the dismissal of Fernando Diniz and the time when Marcão was the interim head coach. He played in 4 games, 2 with Fernando Diniz and 2 with Marcão, and he was started against Vitória and Grêmio, but came off the bench against Cruzeiro and Flamengo. Now 105 days have passed since Terans' last game on June 30th. In total, he only played 17 games for Fluminense in 2024 and has 1 goal to his name and 1 assist. Now only the Brasileirão to compete in. Fluminense has 10 more games to ensure the permanence in the elite of national football. Now will we see Todas play in any of those 10 games? We don't know. That's up to Mano Menezes and the additional technical staff. Now that's the end of today's video, folks. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, share this video with all these 3 colors, comment down below where you're watching from around the world, and hasta la próxima.